I always knew this was going to be a problem for BioWare, and that is the microtransactions in Anthem. As we explored just the other day, in-game purchases for Anthem in its debut launch month only equaled up to $3.5 million, which may seem like a lot of money, but for a massive company like Electronic Arts, that's probably concerning. They want consumers actively spending lots of money. That's all a part of the games as a service model, which is actually working out great for other EA-owned properties like FIFA Ultimate Team, which has been for years consistently bringing in boatloads of money. But then there's also the free-to-play Apex Legends, which launched last month in February and made nearly $100 million off of its cosmetic microtransactions. For this month, Apex Legends, following in Fortnite's footsteps, is getting its very own battle pass, which just means more money for Electronic Arts. But there is one big bump in the road, and that is Anthem, which, I'm gonna be honest, this Vanity microtransaction store has serious problems. The main issue being there just is no interest in purchasing the cosmetics, which long-term, if BioWare does not find a way to draw players to their store, it does create bigger questions regarding future Anthem content, and maybe if new monetization models will be introduced. I do want to emphasize that we know for sure that within the development of Anthem, a different business model was being planned. We know that because there's old logs within Anthem in the current release game that state that. Kinda crazy that they forgot to remove that, but it's clear that Star Wars Battlefront 2's loot box debacle had a huge impact on whatever they had planned for this game. But anyway, in my last video, we discussed how a BioWare developer was caught on 2 occasions lying and or misleading about a new feature called Elysian Caches, which is being introduced to offer cosmetic rewards when completing strongholds. Many players were of the belief armor would be included in these reward chests, but last minute, after weeks of many expecting armor to be included based on employee comments, BioWare officially said they were not, and said previous statements were just, mistakes. BioWare specifically said they were listening to feedback in which players wanted to earn cosmetics outside of the lackluster rotating Vanity store, but players have really been just asking for more armor pieces or sets, which based on previous live streams we know for a fact BioWare is purposefully holding back on. The thing is about armor in Anthem is that it is the main thing that players have been spending coins or the premium currency shards on. Since day one of Anthem's launch, for whatever strange reason, BioWare decided to only introduce 2 to 3 sets and then rotate the other already numerous finished and created sets in the Vanity shop. Now the problem with that strategy is there just isn't any armor sets available to begin with, and they're slowly drip feeding these sets every couple days, which is frustrating the Anthem community. Like, we know the sets have been finished for months, but BioWare is electing to not just put all the cosmetics in the game now, while there still is a player base. Heck, even Fallout 76 and that greedy ass Atomic shop at least has a proper store full of cosmetics. Sure, some items are only available for a few days, but there's still a lot of items permanently in that store. Now BioWare has been called out for this, and their response has been nothing. Really, they just have ignored those asking what the heck is going on. Anyway, today Anthem finally got its big new update, which implemented various changes to the game. Like, it's nice the Forge, I believe, doesn't have a loading screen anymore. I mean, that's a plus, and also finally the Elysian Caches are live, but there's a lot of disappointment in the air because the rewards in these chests are pretty pathetic. As you can see, for the next 40 days until I'm guessing it resets with new items, these are all the cosmetics that can be earned, and it's guaranteed no duplicates. Although BioWare again forgot that you have to include good items in these chests for people to actually care. In total, there are 162 rewards that can be earned, 54 or 55 are just decals, which pretty much are small vinyls that only apply to 1 or 2 parts of your javelin, which some of them are just the equivalent of throwing a sticker on part of your javelin. 1 reward is a graphic, which is a more medium-sized vinyl covering most of your javelin, and then there's 1 reward, 1 wrap, which covers your whole javelin. Then there's a few new emotes, animations, fabrics, and 90 crafting bundles, which many of them are basic stuff that endgame players don't need anymore. It's pretty darn lackluster, and the thing is, as I've said throughout this video, there are cool new armor pieces that they purposefully are not including in these chests and not including in the game right now. One user even went through one of the past live streams from months ago back in November 2018 when the game was still in alpha to highlight all the cool things that are not in the release game yet. Like, I just don't really understand understand what the heck is going on at BioWare and how they plan to launch a looter shooter with no real loot. I mean, there's cool things made, but for some reason they feel a need to just wait until I guess the player base has had enough. Now, there are more problems that have emerged today for Anthem, one of which involving an overpriced vinyl, which was removed hours after it went live because likely community outrage. For whatever reason, BioWare decided to sell a wrap for 61,000 coins or 850 shards. This is actually usually the pricing for cosmetics like armor packs, so many were upset with the increase in price for something that felt like an experiment. As one user warned on the Anthem subreddit, the reason you aren't seeing armor in the store is because they are holding off to determine how much they can get away with charging. They already have the armor models set up and ready, something that is confirmed, and it's already been confirmed they are not dropping the armor in Elysian Stronghold caches, meaning the only way to get the armor sets is through directly purchasing them. Their availability through in-game means is only through coin usage in the shop. They have currently deployed the test wrap that is 61,000 coins for a single wrap that boils down to a simple recoloring. Do not buy this wrap. They're using telemetry and trying to see how much they can charge for this. Why didn't they do this at release? Because the game YouTubers, probably like myself, were covering this game extensively, and now they've moved on to bigger different topics like Sekiro, The Division 2, Destiny, and others. If these channels saw the 61,000 coins wrap, they would have blown their bloody minds. It's outrageous, and there's no two ways of saying it. It's exorbitant to the point of being deranged, meaning they can now get away with this egregious and overly decadent testing splurge. If you buy this wrap, you are letting them know you will spend a nauseating amount of currency for a simple wrap, and then when the actual skins come out, and they will charge you an arm and a leg for it. Don't fall for it. The telemetry is watching. Which I know some may think this is crazy, but it likely is the truth. BioWare is measuring what they can get away with. They have live service experts mapping out how they can monetize players further, and eventually I would not be surprised to see the Vanity shop get some grand remodel, and for damage control I think they'll eventually add some armor and a future Elysian chest. Maybe just 1 or 2 sets, but enough to keep people playing and maybe spending. BioWare has to at least make it seem like they are truly listening to player feedback. And I have to imagine they want to avoid any more negative press attention for Anthem. But yeah, there are various other posts complaining about this vinyl's price, but also other users are just angry with the lack of armor being available to purchase, and dumb things like emotes hogging up space in a limited store space. But another problem was found in this latest update, and it's in regards to loot drop rates, something that's already been controversial enough. Maybe another protest is on the way or a boycott. But currently the top post on the Anthem subreddit claims Stronghold bosses no longer guarantee masterworks, just received 4 purples from the monitor on Grandmaster 2. Get ready for everybody to start leaving at the boss again. Teammates can now pick up your loot for you, so your inventory is constantly getting filled up with blues and purples, and you don't get the satisfaction of being able to pick up your own drops. Half the items in free play and Stronghold chests have been replaced with embers. That's pretty shady stealth nerf. Could be a bug, regardless it needs to be fixed. And once again, there are many more posts like this complaining about loot drop rates and confirming what this user is claiming, but this is an issue I think we all thought was resolved last week. Whether this is a bug or not, people seem to be extremely upset, and that really does seem to be how the Anthem community feels right now with this game. Of course, some people will defend BioWare and the corporation EA's greed, because I mean there's always going to be sheep, but I said this with Fallout 76 and I'm now saying this with Anthem. A few more months really could have benefited both games. Do they become good games with a few more months of development? Probably not, but I would imagine it eliminates the disastrous launches both of these live service games suffered. Both these titles needed more polishing content upon release. Maybe in a number of months Anthem recovers, but you have to wonder what player base is going to be left behind. Oh, and for what it's worth, an EA community manager did confirm on Twitter that these issues that everyone is complaining about are just bugs, and they're currently working on fixes. This is like the 4th update in a row where bugs have altered loot drop rates in the game. Kinda suspicious, but whatever. I don't know how this keeps happening, and I don't know how QA keeps missing these bugs, but BioWare's working on a fix. But anyway, in other news, Electronic Arts fired a bunch of people and shut down a studio. Following in Activision's footsteps, hundreds of employees were fired, 350 to be exact, and I believe it's around 4% of the company. Electronic Arts CEO Andrew Wilson, who was recently ranked among the top 100 most overpaid CEOs in the United States of America, said in an email to employees, "We have a vision to be the world's greatest games company. If we're honest with ourselves, we're not there right now. We have work to do with our games, our player relations relationships in our business, which I don't think any consumer will ever rank Electronic Arts as one of the greatest game companies, maybe one of the most hated and greediest and anti-consumer, but many gamers are under the false belief that Electronic Arts just in recent years became a horrible company. No, this dates back into the early 2000s. There's a reason why they've won multiple awards for being the worst company in America, beating out the likes of Bank of America, Walmart, Chase, and Comcast. But the EA CEO did offer a public statement on their website explaining the firing, saying, "Today we took some important steps as a company to address our challenges and prepare for the opportunities ahead. As we look across a changing world around us, it's clear that we must change with it. We're making deliberate moves to better deliver on our commitments, refine our organization, and meet the needs of our players. As part of this, we have made changes to our marketing and publishing organization, our operations teams, and we are ramping down our current presence in Japan and Russia as we focus on different ways to serve our players in those markets. In addition to organizational changes, we are deeply focused on increasing quality in our games and services. Great games will continue to be at the core of everything we do." I don't know where these great games are at, I just see a bunch of mediocre ones, but sure, yeah, great games. "And we are thinking differently about how to amaze and inspire our players." So another mobile game confirmed soon, just saying. "But this is a difficult day. The changes we're making today will impact about 350 roles in our 9,000 person company. These are important but very hard decisions, and we do not take them lightly. We are friends and colleagues at Electronic Arts. We appreciate and value everyone's contributions, and we are doing everything we can to ensure we are looking after our people to help them through this period to find their next opportunity. This is our top priority." Which honestly, this is just becoming the usual day in the AAA gaming industry, and I fear more firings like this will come in the future. These companies, the EAs and Activisions, grew to the top of this industry through greed, something that is not sustainable, and eventually I believe they both will fall, which unfortunately will leave many developers without jobs. Electronic Arts relies on being greedy with FIFA, and Activision with Call of Duty. This is not a plan or a strategy that can work forever. Electronic Arts certainly has other properties to hold them up, but Activision not so much, which could lead to big trouble in the future. Anyway, we discussed a few different pieces of Electronic Arts related news today, the usual greedy company that they are, but let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and make sure to follow my other social media accounts for updates on new videos. Links are always down in the description below. I'm most active on Twitter, giving opinions on news that I don't always get into video form, so make sure to follow me over there. A good example of that would be my live tweeting on PlayStation State of Play, which was quite underwhelming, but also check out my Discord for all sorts of discussion on games. And again, thank you for joining. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.